Good morning, everyone. How are you doing? This is Amanda. I do hope that you're well. So today is the 15th of October. I had to think for a moment. 15th of October. And I think I have a new catchphrase. I think my new catchphrase has got to be something along the lines of, this isn't the video that I thought I was going to make today, but it is what Spirit has asked me to do. This video has come about, to be honest, I've been resisting doing it for a while, but because of the state of the UK at the moment, and yesterday's news, which was the sacking of the Chancellor of the Exchequer, the money man, by the Prime Minister after only 38 days in office. She's obviously only been in for 38 days as well. It's a very new government. A change of leadership after Boris was ousted by an internal coup via his own party, which is something we seem to be very good at here in the UK. I think over the years there have been a number of these change of seats, basically. So what you get is unelected people becoming Prime Minister that have not actually been voted in by the people. Liz Truss is the latest example. So 38 days in, and we've had a really tumultuous time. And yeah, I was going to read on it when she came to power, which was on the 6th of September. And I nearly sat down, as I am today, to record. And I was going to ask the question, will she still be in by Christmas? And then I sort of questioned myself, and I thought, don't be so ridiculous. I mean, that wouldn't happen. That's ludicrous. You're off there. Let's just leave it and see how things pan out. But actually, as the days, not even the weeks, as the days have rumbled on, I think that hunch may very well be accurate. So I'd like to read on, yes, I'm going to read on her and the state of the government. But equally, I'd like to do a reading on the state of the UK, energy generally, and then obviously some guidance for us that are living here. Equally, if you're watching this from a different country, there may very well be bits in here that you resonate with and you can see that are also happening in your country. I'd also like to say, before I show you the cards I pulled last night, that please remember when you watch videos like this that I'm not a news broadcaster. Lots of comments often come in when I do this type of work, sort of saying, you need to go and read this, you need to watch that, don't you know this? And please remember that this is an intuitive reading. It's what I am picking up. It's also my deliverance of what I believe the cards are saying. But anyway, look, back to the UK. I'm going to pull again this morning because I want to show you the cards that I pulled last night off camera. I actually stopped because they were saying so much and I thought, oh my God, I wish I'd pulled these on camera. But those of you that have been with me a while, I know you trust me. I don't fiddle the cards. What the hell would be the point of that? You're just fiddling yourself at the end of the day. So I'd never do that to you. These are the cards that came up. Also, it came on the back of a tarot deck that I thought, really? I'm going to read on the Liz Truss and the UK government and the UK, really? Is that the deck? And I don't mean that out of judgment, but it just didn't feel right. But actually, the cards were spot on. So always trust the deck that you're called to read on for any subject. The deck is the Angel Tarot by Jane Wallace. And what I did first was I asked for 3 cards that represent the general energy of the country. And so the general energy of the United Kingdom, Great Britain, okay? And I wasn't expecting these 3 cards to come up, but actually in many respects, of course, it makes great sense. The first card that comes up is the card of sadness and the 5 of Cups. The next card that comes up is the Queen of Swords and independence. And then we have the 8 of Cups, which is the card of departure. I mean, just wow. Whatever you think about the Queen, I've done many videos on this over the last couple of months. These were the cards that came up as the collective general energy still around in the UK at the moment. We have they couldn't be clearer. I mean, and as again, trust the cards, trust the deck that you're called to use, because I don't think I've got any other deck that's actually got the word departure on it for the 8 of Cups. It might mean that, but seeing it sort of in black and white like that with these two other cards, it was just so clear. This is still a nation in mourning and a degree of reflection and sadness because the Queen has departed. Again, take it away from whether you're a royalist or you're not. This is linked into independence, okay? There's an energy a bit of, it's really interesting because the UK is a very ancient land, you know, these ancient isles. But yet there's an energy here, and it's probably because of the energy of death, which also came out, and transformation. Death makes you have to start anew again. Rebirth by nature is like the little chick that's just broken out of the egg. It's the foal that's just been born, which is sort of staggering on its feet and can't really find its way, hasn't learnt yet to walk. So there is an energy here of us having to become more independent. And as I'm talking, I'm also hearing Spirit say this is also linked into leaving Brexit, being independent of the European Union, standing on our own. And there's just a vulnerability here. It just feels like there's a vulnerability. So those were the cards that I got. I then pulled 3 cards on Liz Truss, who is our current Prime Minister of 38 days. 39 actually today. The first card that comes out is the 3 of Swords, which is the card of endings and heartache. I'm hearing the job is not what she thought it was going to be. I mean, to be honest, it was going to be a poison chalice for whoever received it. But I don't know whether she was just a little bit blasé or hadn't really thought it through. I don't mean necessarily in terms of what she wanted to do, but in terms of how she was going to feel. It's like anything. You can want a job. You can want a particular lifestyle. You can want to move to a different country. You can want lots of things. But then sometimes when it arrives, it's like, oh, actually, this isn't making me feel like I thought it was going to make me feel. It's actually not filling the void necessarily that I have within me. I'm still feeling like I did before I accepted the job or the promotion or got into the new relationship or the new country. So we have the three of Swords, heartache and endings. What's interesting is the next card that comes up is the King of Wands, leadership. And then we have the 7 of Swords, theft. It could not be clearer. This is why literally my jaw was dropping against the floor when I was just pulling these cards last night. And then I stopped because I want to do the rest on camera with you. Because this is a King of Wands. This is either Boris himself, who was ousted, or it would be Rishi Sunak, I think, who was one of the contenders to take over the job, who feels as though, theft is theft, as though there were underhand tactics employed. Just need to blow out this candle. It's flickering and making a noise. Hold on. Don't worry, I will light another one. Interesting I did that as I'm talking about this. Let's light another candle. It's as though the king, the leader, felt as though he had been robbed. Okay, theft is theft. Theft is a very big word with leadership. Okay, so it's as though the King of Wands felt as though, it's like, where is she in this reading? It's all about, or maybe it's the fact that she feels slightly, I don't think she does, but one interpretation could be that she feels as slightly guilty for robbing somebody of their rightful place, or somebody feels it was their rightful place. I mean, that probably is Rishi Sunak, to be honest, who I think thought he had it in the bag. I think it could be Rishi. He thought he had it in the bag, but it's been stolen from him. But anyway, she's just left with this energy of heartache. I then drew a bridge card between the state of the UK and the state of her, and we got the energy of death. Okay, so let's just now focus on the death card for the UK. And we have, of course, here the beautiful sun rising above the figure at the gravestone. In the poppies, the fields of war. remembrance of another time. It's interesting because when the Queen died as well, I saw commentaries that basically said that this was almost like a severance of the war generation. Here was a woman who had lived through the war. And it was almost like a severance of that energy. And a lot of the people now, of course, who were alive during World War II and who served during World War II are leaving because of natural age. So it's like, who are we as a nation now? And I'm not sure the answer is very clear, because death is here and death is final. But after death, there is always renewal. Right, let me now pull some other cards and see what else we get. Yeah, let's go with this new deck today. Shall I? No, let's do that in a moment. Let's keep with this deck, the Angel Tarot. Right, what shall I ask? Let me just have some water. What shall I ask, please? Okay. I'm going to pull one more card for the UK and one more card for Liz Truss before we go on, because it's a fresh day. Let's just see if the energy has shifted at all. Right, we've got the Ace of Cups, which came out before I even really asked the question of who that was for. So I'm just going to put the Ace of Cups above the energy of death. It's an emotional time. We've also got the Hermit. It's an emotional time for the country. It's a time for the country to go within. It's also a time for the country to go within and find their own strength, okay? I'm talking here about individuals, okay? Men, women on the street, the average Brit, okay? So it's like, who are we? We don't know who we are anymore. It's time to go within, allow the Hermit's energy to enfold us and guide us forward. I feel a very strong energy of King Arthur at the moment. Also, there's this thing, isn't there, about him coming back when he's most needed. And, you know, you can say that's the stuff of legends and myth, but actually I think there is that energy of, I will return to Albion. The energy of returning is coming. And it feels as though that's coming through somebody. I would hazard a guess of who it was, but some of you will shoot me down in flames, but I'll say it anyway. I think it's probably the energy of somebody like Prince William. You don't have to agree with me. It doesn't have to be him, though. It could be somebody else. I don't believe it's any of the current lot of politicians that we've got on the table, but who knows? But definitely, even if it's not embodied in a person, the energy of King Arthur returning, and also the energy of the 12 knights around a table, the energy of unity, of cooperation, that is the new way upon which politics and leadership will be built, based on consensus, based on communication, listening to each other, consultation. The days, I'm now seeing in my mind's eye the pyramid, which represents hierarchy, and you could say that is government. It's about lots of things, of course, but it's as though the pyramid collapses until it just becomes a flat shape. So literally I'm just seeing it collapse, but then arising out of it, it becomes a circle. It becomes a circle. This is true for many countries around the world, not just UK. But I do think because UK and particularly England with London has the energy of the Earth Star chakra, it anchors here first. But it comes from a place of death. This death energy is really quite something. I'm hearing it's like a soul cry. It's like a nation. It's like a soul cry. But from that, we reform and become something new. Let me have one more card on death, please. This energy of death, where we are at the moment. where we are at the moment as a country. Show me the energy of where we are at the moment as a country. The UK. Show me the energy of where we are at the moment. Partnership. And we've also got isolation. Who are our partners? Who are our allies? Who can we trust? I'm wondering, I don't know whether this is just wishful thinking, because I have to say at the outset, I do quite like the fact that it is a United Kingdom made up of Wales, Scotland, Northern Ireland and England. But equally, if they wish to break away, of course, that is their right and will be honoured by everybody, or should be honoured. But I am wondering whether this partnership and isolation, this death energy, it may very well be that actually it brings us closer together again. That because we feel more isolated from other countries, it's like we're going it alone. We are going it alone. And as such, when you go it alone, you actually look around, don't you? You look around and you see who might still be with you. And actually, as a set of countries, it's almost like England looks around and sees that yeah, I quite like Scotland. And Scotland looks around and maybe thinks, well, actually, yeah, I quite like Northern Ireland. And Northern Ireland looks around and thinks, well, actually, I quite like Wales. It's that type of energy. But it comes from a place of, I wanted to say neediness, not necessarily from a place of complete empowerment. But at the end of the day, partners need each other for all sorts of different reasons, and that shouldn't be judged. Sometimes you are stronger together than alone. So that's sort of the energy that's coming out here as well. Four of Pentacles, yes, on the bottom of the deck. In fact, a double four, also the Four of Wands and the card of Strength. Double four energy, a number 8. It's like we are stronger together than apart, is what I'm feeling. We are stronger together than apart. 4-4, 44, angelic energy as well. A lot of spiritual energy around the land at the moment. A lot of spiritual help around the land at the moment. A lot of sweeping away of the old ideologies, old thought forms, old beliefs. And really, this is us now. It's like we are the kings and the queens who are striving towards independence, and also the energy of freedom, which we've got here as well. Freedom and control, two very strong energies there. Dualistic energies, not wanting to be controlled. This is also the country not wanting to be controlled, wanting freedom. And I will say at the outset that, one of the things that's really struck me over the last couple of years with regards to pandemic is that England in particular did not enforce the more draconian restrictions that you saw in other parts of the world. Yes, we had lockdowns, but we never had enforced okay? Aside from in a couple of industries. But I don't know what's actually going. No, NHS didn't happen in the end, did it? Because people stood up to it. No, it didn't. They couldn't bring it in, even within the National Health Service, even within places like care homes and elderly people's homes. Yes, they did enforce it at the start, but they're not anymore. And I know that because my daughter works in one and she hasn't had hers. So it was almost like a waiting game. The draconian restrictions were not as bad here as they were in other parts of the world. It's as though the UK's got this sort of energy, which is sort of like sticking two fingers up sometimes. And that's good. I personally think that's good. Right, let's now get back to good old Liz Truss. I mean, in many ways, this reading isn't really about her, is it? It's about the UK, but she is the one in the hot seat at the moment. So let's just have a look at her energy today. Let's pull a couple more cards, because these were all about Rishi or Boris, It's like, she's stolen it in some way. That's what the cards are saying. It's not what I'm saying, okay? Because at the end of the day, Boris in particular, was an elected Prime Minister, and he got a thumping big majority, and it was the party that kicked him out, not the people. Okay, he wasn't voted out by the people. He was voted out by his own party. I did notice yesterday, I'll come back to Liz in a moment, I did notice yesterday in one of the papers here, it's not a paper that I read, that sounds very judgmental, but it's a bit of it's a tabloid, it's a bit of a trashy paper, I think. But anyway, it's the Express, okay. I just happened to see, because I was looking at Liz Truss and Boris Johnson, I was wondering what was going on with the dynamic. The Express yesterday ran a poll and there were 5,000 votes in, and then they closed it for whatever reason. I think it was because the winner was just like a runaway winner. And the question the poll had was, should Boris come back? Now, I have been channeling on Instagram and Facebook for a little while. I kept hearing boomerang Boris. I mean, it's a bit of a leap of faith to think that he really would be back in number 10, but that's what I heard, okay? Certainly doesn't feel like his political career is over. Even if he doesn't come back into number 10, he'll have a very high position somewhere else. But I kept hearing boomerang Boris. And this was before she even was in at number 10. So the poll was, should Boris come back? There were 5,000 votes. 3,904 of those votes, i.e. 82%, said yes, they want him back. Now, I know now there's some people throwing rotten tomatoes at the screen and saying, no, Amanda, we don't want that in a million years. It's not what I'm saying. It's what one particular poll in, admittedly, a more right-wing tabloid paper said. But I'm just saying it's a reflection of some of the energies that are out there at this time. Right. I will pull a couple of cards on Boris in a moment, but let's just pull a couple more cards on Liz. Okay. So on the back of the Three of Swords and Heartache, can she survive? I was shown a revolving door yesterday. You know, one of those revolving doors you get in hotels and offices that can go really fast. And it felt as though the Chancellor was out, but she wasn't that close behind him. Okay, these two cards have just fallen out of the deck. Quite interesting. Oh, very, very interesting. Okay, on the back of Three of Swords, which is a definite ending, we've actually got today, fresh cards for today, we have the Two of Swords, which is the card of uncertainty, which is a crossroads. So it's like a little bit undecided. We've got the Eight of Pentacles, which is her saying, I'm going to work my way through this. I'm just going to keep my head down. I'm going to keep working. I'm going to keep working. I'm going to keep working. And hopefully people won't remember the blunders. And hopefully I won't make any more. But the thing that was really making me wryly smile, and again, this is why I had to use this deck, is that look at that card on the bottom of the deck, indifference. The Four of Cups. Will she stay? It's almost as though there is well, who are we going to replace her with? Who's any better? Look at the opposition. That's the energy that I've got here. It's almost like this is game over. Three of Swords, game over. But today we've got, well, you know, yes, possibly, or we could keep her. You know, she's a bit of a workhorse. She'll get the job done, but, you know, we don't really like her. Very indifferent. There's just this energy of, almost like, it's the energy of my dad, bless him, which is like, I'm not saying this about my dad if he's watching. I'm just using him as an example. It's somebody that, I'm not articulating it very well, who loves his party, for example, okay, loves politics, loves the debate, and it's just like they're all a shower. That's what I'm hearing him say in my mind's eye, in my hearing. It's like they're all a shower. It's like they're all a shower. That's where we're at. They're all a shower. It's like, okay, so what? We replace her. Then who's going to come in then? Even down to a general election. Let's ask, would a general election be called? It's not due to be called yet. The energy of a general election within the next 4 to 5 months, because obviously you've got to have a run-up period to it. It wouldn't just happen tomorrow. A general election within the next 4 to 5 months. Is it likely? No one wants the job is what I'm hearing. God, it's hard not to laugh. I mean, it's sad, but here we go. Will there be a general election within the next 4 to 5 months? Cards don't really want to come out. King and Queen of Cups, sensitivity and commitment. It's on the bottom of the deck. The Devil, the Angel of Freedom. 9 of Pentacles, comfort. Right, let me just see if I can interpret this. King of Cups, does that have a bit of a Boris vibe to it, or is it just me? Maybe I'm reading too much into that card, but it looks a bit Boris-like to me. Who is the Queen of Cups? What star sign is Liz? I mean, one of the criticisms yesterday of, she gave a press conference where she sacked this Chancellor, and a lot of people were saying that, if I said it to John, and then I read it in the papers that people were saying it, my words to John last night was like, she sounds like a bloody robot. That's what I said, because it's just like it was robotic. I think she was there for a very short period of time. She answered very few questions and then she scuttled off the stage. She didn't show any emotion. So I don't feel like that she's the Queen of Cups unless it's very well hidden. But what is she? She's a Leo. Okay, she's the 20... Oh yeah, I did her numerology, didn't I, yesterday? She's the Leo, 26th of July, 1975. No, surely not. God, that makes me feel old. Okay, so I don't know why I said... She's 47. She's not that much younger than... She's not that much younger than me. Anyway, sorry, I'm just deviating here. Interestingly, she's also not called Liz Truss. Her first name is Mary. I think that's quite interesting. And I think the other lady that was also in the running for the job, Penny Mordaunt, isn't she also called Mary? Let me just have a look at this, because there's something in that, isn't there? I mean, is that not a bit weird? That the two, Penelope Mary Mordaunt, they've both got Mary in their name. You see, Penny Mordaunt is somebody that could potentially take over as well. If Liz is out, it's probably be Rishi or Penny Mordaunt or Boris. But I mean, Penny Mordaunt, yeah, they've both got the energy of Mary. I'm talking about the name Mary. I just find that interesting. What is that about, Metatron? Let me see if I can get some information on that. So Liz Truss is actually Mary Liz Truss. Penny Mordaunt is Penny Mary Mordaunt. Why have we got the Mary, the Marys? I mean, I know, yeah, Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, but come on, I don't feel as though they're embodying it very much. Maybe I'm being unfair there. I'm just being honest. It's not what I'm feeling. So the Mary energy. Did you hear that door just slam shut? Because what I was hearing in my head was... it's potentially there, is what Metatron was saying. The Mary energy, the mothering energy. It's there within all women. The mothering instinct is there within all women. But yeah, I just heard the door shut on it. I'm not sure, guys. I'm not sure, guys, where I'm going with this. So I'm going to move on. Is there going to be a general election? God only knows. I don't know. The cards aren't particularly clear on that. I don't know who this Queen of Cups is. Is Penny Mordaunt? She's March. I'm not feeling, you know, who's like a Cancerian type energy? That's what I'm feeling here. Who is the Queen of Cups? Let me just pull a card on the Queen of Cups. How are we doing for time? Tell me more about this Queen of Cups. Who is she? Or what does she represent here for the UK in regards to a general election? The King of Swords. So we've got two kings now, we've got a queen. I think this is just, again, this is fighting, this is infighting. When we had the devil as well, which is, the devil is trying to keep us chained. and status quo. We've got 2 kings and a queen. I am going to change deck. I'm going to change deck at this point because it's getting a bit confusing. I've got so many cards on the table. I'm going to ask the question again of a different deck. Okay. Let's go to this one. This is the Lion's Gateway Tarot. Will we have another election within the UK within the next 4 to 5 months? Will there be a general election called within the next 4 to 5 months? Will there be a general election in the UK called within the next 4 to 5 months? The 7 of Wands has just flown out, and we've also got the energy of the moon on the bottom of the deck. We've got the Queen of Wands again, and we've got the 10 of Wands, and we've got the Lovers. Okay. Right, I think this is Liz. If she's still in power after Christmas, she's survived the first hurdle. But wow, it's a heavy responsibility. It's a heavy load. There's a choice whether she wishes to continue or whether people want her to continue. There's a lot of infighting. 7 of Wands. The moon card is there basically saying there's something that we can't see yet at the moment because we're not meant to see it. But the moon knows. Look how the moon knows. Maybe this is linked into the eclipse energies that are coming up as well. How many cards we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, Metatron's saying we don't need any more cards on it. Definitely eclipse energy is going to bring things to a head. The sun and the moon. Okay. Right. Anything else to say with regards to the UK at this time? Let's just have some guidance, please, for the UK at this time. Moving away from politics now, just generally. Guidance for the UK at this time. Look, what was I saying about communication earlier on in the... Yeah, this is rebuilding from the ground up, speaking into being who we are as a people, communicating our wants and our wishes. It's a massive unblocking of the collective throat chakra energy. And there are many concerns with regards to base chakra, security, money, safety, health, wealth. It's the whole death energy. It's as I've said, it's from the ground up. Number 9 is the start of a whole new cycle for us as a country. Positive movement forward, card number 8. And that comes in via the crown chakra and via the energy of the hermit going within solitude. Yeah, it's sort of what I've said. Okay, good. That's just nice confirmation for me that what I've said in this reading is accurate as well, because we've got confirmation from another deck saying pretty much the same thing. I will, I think, just finish by, can't resist, let's just have a little look at the energy of Boris and Rishi. And let's go back to this original deck, but let me reshuffle it because it seemed to be speaking really nicely. Okay. So let's start with Rishi Sunak, who I think thought he had it in the bag to become PM when Boris was ousted. He looked like he'd been working behind the scenes for a while for this to happen. So let's have a look at his prospects of, if Liz Truss goes, Rishi coming in. What are the possibilities? What's the potential of Rishi Sunak becoming Prime Minister? Rishi Sunak. Rishi Sunak becoming Prime Minister. Before I see what that card is, I'm being shown a light switch, and it's as though the light switch never was switched off. What I mean by that, I'm just being shown a green light. It's as though, it's weird, it's as though Liz Truss came in and she got the job and he lost, but he never stopped, I'm wanting to say the plotting. Gonna light some incense. His ambition hasn't been thwarted. He still thinks he's got a way in, is what I want to say. And I'm lighting this particular incense, which is called Angel of Power, funnily enough. He thinks he can do it. Let's see what the card is that came out for him. Blimey. The Emperor. The Angel of Wisdom. He absolutely sees himself on that throne. Not the royal throne, the seat of Prime Minister. He sees himself as the Emperor. He sees himself blessed. It's almost like an energy of being born with a silver spoon in your mouth. And it's like, of course I'm going to become that. It's what I've been born to do. I'm not saying he was born with a silver spoon in his mouth. We've got the Ace of Pentacles, the energy of abundance, a very rich man. He is very rich now. He's married, I think, to a billionaire. His wife is a billionaire. He has a lot of money. He has a lot of power. He has a lot of power. Just tune into his energy. Rishi Sunak. Snake in the grass is what I'm hearing. Three of Wands, preparation. He's preparing to take over. And he's got the 8, yeah. I mean, whether it happens or not, this is just, I'm saying, these cards are extraordinary, actually. So glad I chose this deck. So I'm hearing snake in the grass. But I think this is to do with the fact that he's been preparing behind the scenes for this for a long time, including when he was in Boris Johnson's cabinet, towing the line, but actually plotting behind the scenes to get the top job because he believes he's really the emperor. He's working very hard for that to still happen. He's preparing for that to still happen. And he has the Chariot moving him forward. And he has the energy of victory. What he's also got is the energy of tests and gossip and uncertainty over his leadership. But he is determined. He's determined to get it. I mean, the cards are literally, I'm not even having to read them. They're just so clear. Having said that, does he become the emperor is a different matter. Because this is all very much feeling as though it's what's in his head, it's what he wishes, it's what he believes is going to happen. Is it an eventuality? Three of Pentacles, the card of action. After a departure, after a judgment, after somebody has moved on, after she's gone, basically, I feel as though he will, it'll be all guns to the deck to try and get him into power. That's what I'm feeling. And the three of Pentacles is as though there are people working with him for that to happen. Wow, okay. Well, he means business. He means business, that guy. Right. Wouldn't want to cross him. Wouldn't want to cross him. Very sharp-dressed man, I'm hearing. A bit of ZZ Top. Can't beat a bit of ZZ Top on a Saturday morning. But no, sharp-dressed man. He is a sharp-dressed man. He's also sharp. He's intellectually very, very bright. I don't know whether he plays chess, but I'm seeing he'd be a fantastic chess player. He outmaneuvers his opponents. And if he's down and out, he isn't down and out, is what I'm saying. Interestingly, that he works so closely with Boris Johnson, because actually they're two peas from the same pod. Quite similar traits. Everything I've just said about him would probably be the same for Boris. Let's pull some cards for Boris now, shall we? Okay. Which deck do I use for Boris? I'm just going to check this with my pendulum, because the Lion's Gateway Tarot is one that I've always identified with Boris Johnson for whatever reason. But this deck is speaking so well today on this whole subject. So I just want to have a look. To read on Boris Johnson, is this the right deck? To read on Boris Johnson, is this the right deck? Okay, right, I should just have trusted my instincts. No, it's not. Today it's not. For whatever reason, this is not the right deck for him. I'm going to stick with the one that's been speaking so well. Why I've brought up this Lion's Gateway Tarot, though, is because, as I say, I always identify Boris with it. And last night I couldn't find it anywhere. I literally couldn't find it anywhere. And it's a bit like when a crystal goes missing. I had to hunt high and low to find it. I did eventually, of course. But I thought there's meaning in the fact I can't find Boris's deck, as it were. It's like, what is going on here? And then I thought, well, where is he actually? Where is he? Where's he hiding? What is he doing? So I researched it. I had a look on the news. And he's just given a speech in America. And he's earned something like £300,000 for giving this speech. Earned more than I think he did being Prime Minister, just giving like a very short little speech. So he's on the money trail, as a lot of them always do that. But it's like, has he been tempted by that now and he's not really interested in UK politics or not? I don't know. Right, a card's just flown out of the deck, which is the Chariot card. And we've got victory. Look at that. I mean, he probably likes money, Boris. Again, he comes from a moneyed family, so it's not like he's poor or anything. But he is charging ahead to some sort of victory. Question is, what is the victory? And does it involve coming back to number 10? Does Boris's victory include him coming back and retaking his seat as Prime Minister? Right, sorry, that one's just done that. You can see that's the King of Swords, which is him, which says decisions. He's making a decision on that. And again, the energy of preparation, that was the same card that we had for Rishi. And he's also got the Blessings card as well. I feel as though I'm hearing a different thing for the Blessings card for him. I'm hearing with his wife's blessing. It's as though his wife, Carrie, holds some of the sway as to whether he'd want to get back into that race. I don't even know if he's allowed to get back into the race. I don't know what our rules are here for all this type of stuff. But assuming he is, maybe it's not now. Maybe it could be in the future. It could even be after the next election. Say the next election Labour get in, could Boris then come back after that? I don't know. But I'm not sure the timescale of it, guys, but somewhere along the lines, we haven't heard the last of this guy, and he is making a decision in terms of where he wishes to channel this energy, which is basically, I'm coming right at you, I'm coming back, I'm going to be victorious in something that I do. It's just, what is that something? Let's see if I can get any more clarity on this. Does he again become Prime Minister? at some point in the future, does Boris Johnson at some point, is there a energy or is there a timeline that is likely where he could come back as Prime Minister? Boris Johnson, could he return as Prime Minister? That's an interesting card. It's got the Devil. The Devil's stopping him. The Devil's trapping him. The Devil's... There's many ways you could read this card. Let me just go with all the different ways. That's one interpretation. This could also be his own energy within him, his own shadow, his own block. That although he really wants to, he doesn't feel able to. He doesn't feel capable to. It could be somebody else that's stopping that or thwarting that. It could be, and I'm not into the whole white hat, black hat thing, as you know. I'm just not into it at all. But let's just go with that for a moment. Say he's one of the good guys. I hate classifying people that way. Say he's one of the good guys. The Devil doesn't want him back in the job. That's not me saying it. That's what I'm getting to say, okay? It's one interpretation that Spirit's giving me. There are many different timelines here. Does he come back? It's a strange card to get that. When he's paid his dues to something, he could come back. When he's towing the line, he could come back. When his face is deemed to fit again, he could come back. I don't really like this energy. I'm just going to clear it. So a bit of silver. Why I don't like the energy is because it's disempowered energy. It's all about destiny of a nation or a man being dependent on others. Okay, so I'm going to ask the question again. King of Wands leadership, yeah. Gossip, yeah, because I felt like there was another energy here interfering then. Let's get back to a higher timeline, a higher energy where he can be the best that he could potentially be. In that scenario, not chained to anything, not tied to anything, not beholden to anything, not I'll do this and I'll scratch your back if you scratch mine. Leadership. But look at that. There's somebody with a knife there, symbolic knife, who wishes to stab the King of Wands in the back, who's acting from a very low vibrational space. And I know who it is. I'm just seeing him in his mind's eye. What's the guy called? I think I actually, when I read on Boris years ago, I was given that song from Jungle Book, Believe in Me, Car, the snake. Oh God, what's the guy called? Dominic Cummings. This is Dominic Cummings. No way am I letting you back in because we made a pact. You broke the pact. I feel as though Boris wants to become a better man. And there's an energy here which is like, I'm not going to let you. I'm not saying that's just Dominic, but I'm feeling there's an energy here which is like, I'm not going to let you become a better man. But I feel he wants to. If he were to come back, put it this way, the time apart from him and government would have done him good. I know what I'm saying here. Some people are going to say, no bloody way, Amanda. A leopard never changes their spots. I get it, guys. I'm just going with where the cards are taking me in this reading, okay? All right. Let's just see how Boris is feeling right now, though. Let's see how Boris is feeling right now. Yeah. He's actually... Oh, God, yeah. Blimey. Okay. I love doing card readings, I have to say. Okay. He's got the energy of the Fool. He's onto a fresh, bright new start. Hooray, I feel free. I don't have the responsibility of government anymore. I don't have all that work, etc. I can celebrate. I can have some fun times. I can party and no one's going to judge me for it. Partygate was one of the reasons which was behind him being ousted. Not the only reason, of course, but, it was building up over many years. He likes a celebration, Boris. He likes a bit of the mead and the wine and the women and all of that. And it's like, yeah, I'm free to do all that. But then, bam, we've got the tower. The tower. And we have the energy of strength. And it's as though trying to tame the lion. And I would think he is the lion. Someone trying to tame him. Like, get him ready for it. Come on, Boris, have courage. You can do this. But huge stress. I don't think I want the job, thank you very much. The tower may very well have fallen. The UK might be in a terrible place. But actually, I don't know whether I want it. And he has the energy of choice. The lovers and the card of choice. But yet, at soul level, he made a commitment to try his best to come to this country and partner up with it. You might think he's fouled up and done the most terrible job going, or you might think he's done a brilliant job. That's your right to think whichever way. But I'm talking from a soul level perspective. Here is a guy who is, it's interesting because he was born in America, but I'm wanting to say who is English through and through. And again, this is past life. He's had many, many lifetimes in England, Boris, in particular England. I don't think he's King Arthur, but God, maybe he's got a. People are going to hate me saying this, because I'm going to say he's got a fraction of it, because I believe we've all got fractals of everything within us. Okay, you've got a fractal of King Arthur, you've got a fractal of Christ, you've got a fractal of Mary Magdalene, you've got a fractal of everything. We're all fractals of each other. So is there a fractal within Boris that resonates with the King Arthur energy? Yes, indeed. Hanged Man, Angel of Prophecy. Yeah, he's taking time out. He's just hanging. I mean, not literally, but he's just enjoying a pause and a respite, and he's probably enjoying the money coming in from the work. But I do feel that if she departs, it's gonna stir up the hornet's nest again. I don't know. His wife will have something to say about it, though, definitely, if he were to come back into the mainstream political arena. Okay. Who haven't I looked at? Haven't looked at Penny Mordaunt. Do I really want to look at her? Not really, but let's do it. Let's get back in the neutral zone and pay her the respect she deserves. Okay, cancel, clear and delete. Penny Mordaunt. I'm sorry, please forgive me. I love you, thank you. To be perfectly honest though, Mary, Penny and Liz, I have an issue with. I have a bit of a problem with both of them. Liz Truss, when she came on the scene, the words I kept hearing were nanny. She reminded me of a nanny. And there's actually a brilliant card within this deck, because I told you I was playing around with cards last night, just for my own amusement, really. And I pulled some cards out of this deck, which is the Dream Keeper's Tarot. And there's a brilliant card in here, which is actually the High Priestess. And it came out for her, and it's exactly how I see Liz Truss. Now, I don't know if the camera's focusing on that very well, but I don't know about you, but that reminds me of Nanny McPhee, okay? Nanny McPhee, who, of course, ultimately, is an okay person. She's there to do a job, but you have to take your medicine, and you have to learn how to behave, and she'll whip you into shape. Remember, leaders are a reflection of us. I don't know, there's just a nanny energy, I think, with Liz. And then with Penny Mordaunt, as a woman, looking at two women, again, we're all fractals of each other. So Liz is a part of me, Penny is a part of me, I'm a part of them, all the rest of it. We're all a part of each other. There's something here about nannying, the nanny state. There's something here about mothering, but again, not all mothers are, there's many different types of mothering, is what I'd like to say. That's not a reflection on their ability to mother, if they are, but there are many types of mother. So having lost what many people regarded as the mother of the nation, or the grandmother of the nation, which is the Queen, we have Liz, Queen Elizabeth, Liz, her last ever act, day before she dies, she I don't know what they call it, you know, dots the I. What's it called when they, you know, she saw Liz, so Liz is now officially the Prime Minister. Not enrolled, whatever it is, you know what I mean. Liz to Liz, the mother energy, Mary, all these Marys. Let's have a look at Penny Mordaunt. Just go into my heart and see who she is. As neutral as I can. Penny Mordaunt. Asking the cards, please, to give us the energy of Penny Mordaunt. Show me the energy of Penny Mordaunt. Right, we've got trust, but we've got the Hanged Man as well. A bull. bull in a china shop, I'm hearing. Wheel of Fortune. Is she destined to play some part in future games and shenanigans? Probably. Knight of Pentacles is slow and steady. It's steady Eddie. Steady Eddie. What else? Not feeling great inspiration from this Knight of Pentacles. Feels very slow, very laboured. It's a knight, not a king. It's not a queen, not a king, it's a knight. It's more inexperienced. Tell me more about Penny Mordaunt's energy. The sun. Yeah, interesting. There's like a childlike energy here with her. Riding in on the back of a unicorn. What have we just had with the Queen's passing? Operation Unicorn. The sunflower, the symbol of Ukraine. She'd have a strong opinion with regards to the war with Ukraine and Russia. Look at all those sunflowers. Yes, it's a unicorn. A unicorn and a bull. That's quite a combination. Where the hell are we going with this? We've got Boris again on the bottom of the deck. That's my Boris card in this deck, I've decided. King of Cups, because it looks like him. Is she going to do a deal with Boris? Has she done a deal with Boris? Had she done a deal with Boris? I don't know. The sun is shining on her, though. The sun's about to come out shining on me now, I think. Yes, here we go. What are you trying to tell me? What are you trying to tell me with regard to Penny Mordaunt? What am I missing here? Penny Mordaunt. What am I missing? Five of Swords, loss. Six of Swords, resolution. Ace of Pentacles, abundance. I feel as though all of this sword energy, 6 and 5 make 11, 11 swords. Swords are the energy of the mind, the analytical mind. Again, I'm not feeling any heart energy here. I think that's why I have a personal issue with both women. I'm just putting my hands up to that because it's like, where's the heart energy? I'm not feeling it. But there's a lot of head energy. There's a lot of mental, analytical energy with Penny. Maybe she's more shrewd in terms of being able to sort out the finances than Liz. Maybe she'd take a slower approach to growth. One of the reasons that Liz Truss may very well be forced out is the fact that the Bank of England have had to step in twice in 38 days since she's been in power to prop up the gilts market, I think it is. The pound's just been tumbling. She hasn't got a hold on the finances. I did read something today which said it will actually be the markets that decide her fate. If the market's steady and the pound steadies, she'll be in for longer. If she can't steady the market, she'll be out. Has Penny got the ability to steady the pound more? With the Knight of Pentacles, possibly. But she's going to, if she gained power, any place of authority, she'd make people have to start to think differently about maybe the process of lending, borrowing, what we can afford as a nation, what we can't. To be honest, the more I've sat in her energy, she feels a safer pair of hands. Let me just pull a card from another deck. Penny Mordaunt. If she became Prime Minister, where would she take the UK? Where would she take the UK? Recognition and reward and destiny. I think she's not necessarily coming from the heart, but she's coming from the mind in terms of I think she wants what's best for the country. Quite surprised to say this, actually. So, apologies. There is more to her than I first saw, from what these cards are saying anyway. Although I've now got another energy here, which is saying, yeah, but it could also be that they're all slippery snakes, actually. Because, okay, there is a bit more to her than I thought. But I'm now also seeing that these two cards could be that she wants the recognition and the reward, and she thinks the destiny it is hers to be, the leader. So is she doing it for herself and for her own glory and vanity, or is she doing it for the country? I'm not sure, guys. I'm not sure. But we do have the card of New Beginnings on the bottom of the deck. She means business as well, because look at that card. She's standing on top of the blinking world. She's very well connected, I hear. I'm being drawn to her sandals on her feet. Sandalphon, Archangel Sandalphon, but equally these armour of God, feet that walk in peace, sandals of peace. She holds a staff in her hand. How I'm feeling now, just purely based on these cards and the energy I'm in, I would feel prepared to give her a chance. Third eye chakra, temptation, truth. Cool. It's a really interesting reading, actually, if you're still with me, because I tell you what, it's like we're going one way, then we're going another, and then it could be this, that, but that's what the energy, that's the energy. It's because on one hand I'm saying, well, yeah, actually she could be quite good. She's wearing her sandals of peace. She's got the staff, she means well. She's taking the first step. Maybe she thinks it's her destiny. Yes, she's going to get the recognition and reward, but if she does it for the people, maybe that's a good thing. But then we have the card of temptation and the third eye, the devil energy, and truth. Maybe all of these leaders are a bit like us at the moment. A lot of people are sort of, are we going to, as a species, are we going to choose the light? Or are we going to choose the darkness? And yes, it is our choice to make. The ones in control, that you may feel are in control, the elites, they're only there because we have given our power away. We haven't stood up. Not enough of us has stood up. Not enough of us has stepped into our sovereignty. Not enough of us have stepped into our true light. Not enough of us have stepped into our heart. When we're able to do that and we're able to drop the division and the separation, We can step into the real new beginning, and our leaders will then represent that. But whilst we're still hedging our bets and not knowing which master we serve, light or dark, as a species, our leaders are going to be still going to be confused. Which master do you serve? Which master do they serve? It's so easy, guys, isn't it, to blame them as embodying all of the shadow, all of the darkness, all of the power, all of the control. It's just so easy to blame other people for all of our shortcomings within ourselves. But yet if we truly look at our own darkness, at our own greed, at our own insecurity, what we're bound to, toxicity within our own life maybe, toxicity with regards to substances, etc., our need for power, our need for control, our need to be right. And if we can drop that, they can drop it too, because the vibration will have lifted to such a degree that only love can exist within it. It's a choice between these two cards, and I just feel as though that's what's being reflected here. It is, in many ways, very, very chaotic. But the truth always lies in coming back to the heart and listening to that. So let's end with some guidance linked into what can we as a people do through these crazy days of all the fighting and infighting and changes and disruption and uncertainty and leaders coming, leaders going, leaders staying. One thing that Metatron gave me last week was the energy of the most important thing is we just keep moving. Stagnation is our enemy at this time. Keep working on yourself. Let's pull some cards just for us and see what guidance there is. And I need a new deck for that. So let's go for this one. The Quantum Oracle by Sandra Ann Taylor. Okay, so if you've made it this far through the video, thank you very much. Guidance for the people. Guidance for the UK. Before I pull from here, this card's just staring at me on the top of this deck. This is the card of choose wisely. In many ways, it's good advice. Seven of Cups, choose wisely. As a people, every action, every thought, every deed, every choice matters. And when there is disruption, and there is shadow, and you don't know who is of light, who is of darkness, remember that everybody is both. Withdraw, get into nature, and choose love. And love will see you through all of it. We are all family. And be in your own power and sovereignty. But this card, we are all family. Remember that. Okay, guys, I'm going to leave it there. Hope you've enjoyed this. Lots of love. The next video I do will be on awakening and guidance and observations with regards to that path. Take care, have a great weekend, and I'll be back soon. Lots of love. Bye-bye for now. Send love to all of our leaders as well, because that's ultimately what heals as well. Bye-bye for now. Bye.